Thank you so much for those amazing performances. Our next speaker is Natalie Gabrelian, who serves as the Director of Chapters and Central Board Administration at AGBU, where she oversees administration of all AGBU Central Board logistics and maintains relations with AGBU's global network of districts and chapters. Please let me welcome Natalie Gabrelian.
Thank you, Nanor. Good afternoon, everyone. Menk der Dank. And we are here today, once again, where we will always be, gathering in solemn remembrance to honor the memory of the over 1.5 million lives lost during the Armenian Genocide, which began 110 years ago. In 1915, before the eyes of the world, the first modern campaign of genocide, a deliberate, state-orchestrated campaign of extermination, systematically planned and unprecedented in scale, unfolded in the Ottoman Empire. By 1923, 1.5 million Armenian voices were forever silenced. With their disappearance and the forced exile of thousands of survivors, the world's first Christian nation, an ancient people who had inhabited the Armenian highlands for 3,000 years, lost its historic homeland. Torn from their homes, their lands, and their lives, this genocide sought to erase our people, culture, and history. But we did not allow these fires of evil to burn us. Like a phoenix, we rose from the ashes to mark a rebirth. It is this spirit that gave life to an independent Armenian Republic, the Artsakh Republic, a vibrant and ever-prosperous diaspora, and generations of Armenians whose demands for justice have echoed in the streets, courts, and in the ears of Turkish and allied deniers around the globe for over a century. From right here in New York to Los Angeles, Buenos Aires to Paris, Beirut to Jerusalem, and the torch-lit streets of our beloved Yerevan, the crowds marching in solidarity and remembrance are evidence that though they've tried to extinguish our burning spirit, the Armenian voice will not be silenced, but will only grow louder. Yet as we reflect on the atrocities committed by the Ottoman Empire over a century ago, today's reality proves the Armenian genocide is not over. It is a genocide that has never ended and whose tragic arc has come full circle. Azerbaijan and Turkey continue to collude in a century-long genocidal mission. Just as our ancestors were driven from their homes, today our brothers and sisters of Artsakh have been driven from their homelands. Once again, our history and heritage are being rewritten and erased with the destruction of Armenian religious sites and cultural monuments. Like the arrests of Armenian intellectuals in Constantinople, today's prisoners of war, the Artsakh leadership, are falsely detained in Azerbaijan with not an ounce of justice in sight. While we collectively feel hurt, frustrated, and betrayed by the geopolitical realities facing the Armenian people and nation, it is today, of all days, that we must unite and agree that wherever Armenians reside, we will ensure our unbreakable legacy of survival. Please, let us use this moment as one of deep reflection, not just for those we lost, but for the resilience that has carried our people through a century of tragedy and the lessons learned throughout. We have witnessed the countless and heroic instances in which Armenians pick up the pieces of their shattered lives and dreams only to rise again as prosperous, productive, and self-sustaining people. We know that as long as our people continue to carry on the torch of culture and identity as Armenians, we will persevere and grow toward a brighter future. We will preserve our cultural traditions, maintain our Christian faith, protect our national treasures, build and strengthen our communities, and support one another in building prosperous lives. Our people have endured because Hartounian once said, "We cannot rely on paper ladles, empty promises made by distant powers. Instead, we have built our own strength through unity, culture, and an unbreakable commitment to justice." After returning from the 1878 Congress of Berlin, where he had hoped the great powers would defend the Armenian people, Hartounian addressed his nation with painful honesty. "I saw others dip their ladles into the cauldron of liberty, but when it was our turn, I was given a paper ladle, and it dissolved in my hands." That image, that paper ladle, still speaks to us today. Let us not forget. It is the symbol of promises made and broken, of hope met with betrayal, of a people who looked to the world for justice and were met with silence. The Armenian Genocide was born from that silence, and a century later, history has shown that justice is neither destined nor given. We must bend the arc toward justice ourselves. But Heidig's message was not one of despair. It was a call to action. He urged the Armenian people to rely not on the paper guarantees of distant powers, but to build strength in national unity, education, and resolve. He taught us that dignity is not handed down, it is claimed. Survival is not just endurance. It is resistance through identity, culture, and memory. So today, we remember not only the loss, but this very important lesson. To those who still deny the reality of genocide, we say, the truth does not fade with time. It echoes louder with each passing year. And as we mark 110 years since that terrible beginning, we recommit ourselves to remembrance, to education, and to the pursuit of lasting peace and recognition. While the crimes committed against our people remain unacknowledged, we continue to speak out, seeking accountability for those who perpetrate these atrocities. We honor those who perished, and we commit ourselves to a truth that cannot ever be denied, no matter how much time passes or how loud the voices of denial become. We carry forward not a paper ladle, but one forged in iron, strengthened by the generations who have survived, rebuilt, and refused to be erased. We must ensure that we are ironclad from within, strong in our economic, political, military, and moral pursuits. Let us embrace the iron ladle in our pursuit of justice and our fight for the right of return, for the release of our Armenian prisoners of war still held captive in Azerbaijan since the Artsakh War of 2020, and the Artsakh leaders who were arrested and detained over a year ago, and especially for the peace and security of sovereign Armenia. Let us pave the path forward, bearing the torch of hope, faith, and to empower ourselves to bend the arc of justice. If you'll allow me one more minute, on behalf of AGBU, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to the Knights and Daughters of Vatan in commending them for their 40-year commitment to spearheading this annual commemoration in Times Square. Since 1985, they have brought together thousands from our communities in New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and beyond, uniting us all in person year after year in solemn remembrance of our blessed martyrs of 1915. And we would not be here today were it not for the vision of the late Hrant Gulian and his fellow knight, the late Sam Azadian, who led the pioneering committee. Hrant will be remembered as a motivating leader in the community and a devoted advocate for the Armenian cause. A proud Armenian, he exhibited unsurpassed dedication to our nation, people, the Armenian Church, and a vast array of Armenian institutions and organizations. As the pioneering force behind this globally recognized event, For decades, he spearheaded the annual commemoration. And it is his visionary leadership that was exhibited through his civic engagement and advocacy for recognition and justice, which is unparalleled. As we gather once again at the crossroads of the world, we not only remember and pay homage to the over 1.5 million martyrs, but also to Hartounian and his fellow torchbearers. May their illuminated spirits light the path as we redirect ourselves to the cause of genocide affirmation and the prevention across the globe. Thank you.